2018 is almost over, and it has been a huge year for this channel. So big and constant that I don't think I can ever top it, especially as real life gets more and more demanding of my time. Here, at the end of all things, I sit upon 275 videos since January 1st, 2018, that almost are all at least 30 minutes long when averaged together. That's 137 and a half hours of content, give or take. Since January, I have completed 25 Let's Plays, some of which were several month-long journeys and others of which were just quick one-offs. Also this year, I made at least 14 big discussion videos on interesting topics and detailed game reviews that I'm proud of. Sprinkled among all of that are lesser ventures, such as various music enhancements that mostly suck and may be deleted soon, a number of long plays, and some 2-hour-long videos of game ambiance for relaxation, things like wind and ocean waves from Breath of the Wild. So before 2019 rings in and I potentially disappear in the chaos of reality for an indefinite while, I wanted to revisit each month of this year and reflect on my bigger undertakings with some retrospective thoughts. January. In January, I was just beginning my Let's Play of Wind Waker HD on the Wii U, which was my first time playing the game in about 5 years and immediately coming off of an entire year of Breath of the Wild. Following the series came a weird discussion/review comparing Wind Waker to Breath of the Wild in an attempt to figure out which Zelda formula was more fun and everlasting. In retrospect, I am not too happy with this Let's Play as I took a stab at voice acting some of the characters and the results are cringeworthy to my ears today, with the exception of maybe the King of Red Lions and the Killer Bees. Those voices were fun to mess with.
Maybe that's one of them pendants. What do you think, boss? Nah, it's crazy talk.
If you did get enjoyment from this series, I am glad, but there are far better things on this channel in my opinion. Other things in January were a long play of Return of the King on the GameCube, and a one-off of SSX3 Peak 1 races. But the last major thing for the month was a discussion about a Harvest Moon 64 remaster for the Switch, something I still hope for to this day, but will probably almost guaranteed never happen. I am still proud of that discussion video because it shows my love for the game and stands among a tiny few who even dare talk about it at all. And to you tiny few, I salute you. February. February was pretty slow overall as disappointment in myself began to take over following Wind Waker HD. However, a part of the month was dedicated to super retro games, namely Myland's Secret Castle on the NES, Anticipation, and Super Mario Land on the Game Boy. These were joyous little asides that broke the misery of daily living. I believe there were other videos I did in February too, but I have since deleted them out of a self-conclusion that they sucked terribly. March. Out of the depths of depression, I came exploding into March with tons of content. To kick it off was one of my now most popular videos and one I am very proud of, a review of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles on the GameCube that ends in speculation of a Nintendo Switch remaster, which at the time was not announced. The video got steady attention from like-minded, nostalgia-yearning gamers, and then it exploded when Square Enix announced a remaster coming to Switch and PS4. Following the energy from writing that script and editing the video, I made a few other tiny discussions in March that aren't really worth talking about. Then I closed my mouth for a while and focused on long plays, first of which was my favorite PC game of all time, Day of the Tentacle. Following that came Shadows of the Empire on the N64 beaten on Jedi difficulty, which immediately chained into a speedrun. For a non-speedrunner, I'm happy with the end result I got and know I could improve if I practiced. But after finishing the run, I decided to enjoy some casual time with a long play of Kirby Superstar, which was unnecessary but fun, and a random one-off of Zoombinis, an edutainment game from the early 90s I have fond memories of. Soon after, in March, came a discussion of Smash Bros. Switch from the reveal trailer, which probably would just annoy hardcore Smash fans if they went and listened to it. But right after that video, I started what really matters in life, Super Metroid Randomizer. I had done one on my former channel in 2016 with a garbage microphone, but Super Metroid is not a game that you should just stop playing, so I had to do it again. I mean, duh. After that, somehow more of March still existed, so I immediately recorded a long play of Mega Man X, my favorite Mega Man X game, and a one-off Let's Play of Mega Man X3 Zero ROM hack, which though difficult was a lot of fun. Finally, to end off the month, I returned to the traditional episodic Let's Play with Luigi's Mansion, a series I barely even remember recording, which means it's probably somewhere between good and bad. In other words, just okay. April. March may have been crammed full of crap, but April brought out the big guns with a giant underrated game, Jet Force Gemini. I recorded an entire episodic Let's Play of it, then I wrote a review, and then I started a brand new file and played it even better than the first time as I recorded a long play. That's the full treatment, people. And yet I still feel there is more I can do to shine the light on this rare masterpiece. I think prior to JFG was a Battletoads Double Dragon speedrun, which is ballin' because David Wise is the greatest game composer. And I also did a one-off LP of Pac-Man 2, The New Adventures on the Super Nintendo, which, yeah, that's just kinda random trash. Yeah, but April 2018 was all about Jet Force Gemini, as any month and any time should be. That game is a beast, and I am happy with every form in which I covered it, and there may even be more in the future because you can't let a good Jet Force Gemini just fade in the distance. Have you heard that soundtrack? I said, have you heard that soundtrack? May! I kicked off May with a long play of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 on the N64, with full music tracks that I edited in after recording the footage. There were many bails before the final product that you see in that video, which makes it seem kinda like a personal best speedrun, but it's just editing, kids. A great game with superb punk music. And speaking of superb, May was also home to 3 major discussion videos, my 52 favorite games of all time, a retrospective on why Super Metroid is perfection, and thoughts on the rumored Star Fox Grand Prix racing game, which that thing still needs to come out because I want it. I said I want it. After that, the creative juices started to run low, and I opted to begin a full episodic Let's Play of Breath of the Wild on Master Mode, which would run all the way to July. Overall, the Let's Play was a good showing of my commentary style and how I've developed since the 2016 days of my former channel, Nintendo Billy. Who is this Billy? It shows much more comfort in speaking while recording than I ever had before, which is at least something to say among the probably still suckage. But Breath of the Wild is a super long game, so naturally I kinda had to break it up with mini projects in between each episode. Enter June, where I jumped on the bandwagon and recorded Super Metroid / A Link to the Past crossover randomizer. The 2 greatest games of all time combined into one? How could you go wrong? It was a fun journey from what I remember, but I also do recall a strange audio hiccup that would happen loudly every so often in nearly every episode, like a loud clicking sound, like somebody just flicked your microphone or your earbud or something. I still don't know what caused it. But other than that, June was just more of Breath of the Wild, because believe it or not, we weren't done yet. July! July brought with it the end of Breath of the Wild at last, and I filled in the middle of July with a one-off video of The Sims 1. Do the basic one, that looks like crap. Feng shui, more like feng shit. As well as some ambient weather sounds from The Sims 3 and Breath of the Wild. I kind of got addicted to game ambiance stuff like that for a moment. But finally, toward the very end of July, word had reached my ear of this Ocarina of Time randomizer, and I immediately had to record a seed myself. And then I played 2 more seeds after that, but I didn't record those. Well, gosh darn it. That probably would have been enjoyable. August. Enter August, high on N64 Zelda fervor. I kicked it off with a ranked list of all the N64 Zelda dungeons from worst to best that I still stand by today, because it's a good list. I said it's a good list, dang it. Naturally, this piqued my interest in a Majora's Mask randomizer, which sadly only existed as a ROM hack with logic that requires glitches to complete. Due to this, not many YouTubers bothered to even record it. And a few months down the line, my 2-hour-long playthrough exploded and is by far my most popular video and why the vast majority of you subscribed in the first place. Personally, I have mixed feelings about the video and feel like I have to constantly defend myself for how I played and the things I said during the playthrough. I reached the conclusion that Majora's Mask just isn't very good randomized, as a huge chunk of the fun is planning, scheduling, and time management, which item shuffling destroys entirely. So, I went and recorded another giant 3-hour-long video of Ocarina of Time randomizer, this one entitled The Devil's Seed, because the seed number was a whole bunch of 6s. I am more happy with that one than any of the other Zelda randomizers I've done, as I played much better and was consistent with my commentary and mood. Unfortunately, some of the rants I go on tend to piss off a lot of people. But there is no pleasing everyone on the internet, so who cares? On August 30th, I ended the month with a discussion video on The Elder Scrolls Hyrule, a theoretical game idea of a hugely customizable Zelda adventure spin-off. Because every single one of us wants to play as a Gerudo, or a Sheikah, or a Deku. You name it, dude. And finally, at the end of this month as well, I started my most favorite project I've ever done, Yoshi's Woolly World, which ran all the way through September. Yoshi's Woolly World stands as the only game on this channel that I never played prior to the Let's Play. But I did know it from watching other people's videos, so technically it's not truly a blind Let's Play. As such, it carried an immense amount of life no other game on this channel could. The sheer joy of playing a brand new game, to my eyes at least, brought a sense of childlike wonder that I haven't felt in years. The game itself is beyond phenomenal, thanks to outstanding art direction, the never-ending curiosity of what new Yoshi design a level may reward you with, and the incredible soundtrack created by Tomoya Tomita. I pray to the gods of all things fluffy and adorable that he is behind the music of Yoshi's Crafted World on the Switch, otherwise that game is already below Woolly World. Regardless, the company responsible, Goodfeel, made me truly feel good with this game from start to finish, which is a huge accomplishment considering my depressed, cynical ass. Not too many people have watched the series I made though, which is slightly saddening, although understandable as it starts off a little too overloaded with joy and an overuse of the word fantastic. But if there's any Let's Play on my channel that I wish people enjoyed as much as I did making it, it's absolutely Yoshi's Woolly World. Following the series finale, I published a review video of the game that I'm pretty proud of as well. The last two mentions of September are a discussion video and GoldenEye Randomizer. The discussion is specific to the announcement of Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered on the Switch and the PlayStation 4, especially what I think needs changing. I think it's a pretty good discussion video, covering a lot of the major points with the accompanying footage. It's kind of supplementary to the review video I mentioned that I did earlier in the year, which is still the more popular video of the two. As far as GoldenEye Randomizer, that was pretty fun as well. And I did even record most of a second seed, but I never finished it. I'm really hoping that somebody is in the process of making a Perfect Dark Randomizer that doesn't suck in any way. Because if a Perfect Dark Randomizer comes out, I will be on that thing, and then I will be on it again and again. If anybody knows of a Perfect Dark Randomizer, please let me know because I need to play it. October probably will sound the most familiar to you as it's the most recent and when the majority of you were already subscribed. The month started with a failed attempt to 3-cycle Majora's Mask, followed immediately by a successful attempt. These videos are way better than the Majora's Mask randomizer, I think. And as is the case of all my lengthy Zelda videos, they showcase my casual personality and introspective tendencies. The rest of October and up through November was dedicated to the episodic series of Donkey Kong 64. November. In hindsight, DK64 needs improvement. It started off happy and great, but the later parts crumbled into highly depressing rants as I did not give myself ample time between recordings to be a normal human, combined with other life pressures barreling down on me. It's a very hit and miss Let's Play that is something I probably won't ever look back on. My favorite episode was part 22, when I played the dreaded arcade games, which ironically is the part of the game almost everyone, myself included, hates. But I feel it is the one episode of that entire series where I tapped into the casual stress relief of old school gaming and was able to not be a cynical whirlwind and just frickin' enjoy a game for the sake of enjoying a game. Late November marked the start of Wind Waker Randomizer Seed Number 1. This playthrough was fun for being my first time playing through the game randomized, and it was insanely lucky. However, certain episodes shared too much in common with the bad aspects of DK64. And such deep and moody thoughts tend to get on everyone's nerves and take away from the game. December. And finally we come to December, where Wind Waker Seed 1 wrapped up, and on December 7th, launch date of Smash Bros. Ultimate, Wind Waker Seed 2 began and persisted through Christmas. My second go at Wind Waker Randomizer was much better in terms of my skill and knowledge of the game, and it was only slightly less lucky than the previous seed. Commentary-wise, the first massive chunk of episodes are nothing but happy and lighthearted. But toward the late middle, I go off on the typical deep tangents I can't seem to stop from happening. Overall though, it's probably the better of the two seeds. And that finally wraps up 2018 of good old days gaming. This year essentially has been the entirety of this channel. The only major points of mention in 2017 were a Mario Odyssey no commentary blind playthrough, a Let's Play of Breath of the Wild Champions Ballad DLC, an embarrassing Link to the Past randomizer, some various long plays, and then just some imported old reviews and my old Mario Maker levels from my former channel that I killed off in late 2016. I guess you could say at long last between both channels I had a good year of audience building, and now is the perfect time to really kick into gear and try to grow this into a permanent thing. However, I have no plans for 2019, as I've hinted at for a while now among the various depressive speech of late. There are some awesome new releases on the horizon that I want to play and record, but as I frequently mention, I'm in constant conflict with real-life demands, and frightening change is constantly looming and threatening my ability to even continue doing this. I very likely will be back sometime soon, but I can guarantee there will no longer be daily uploads unless way in the future I have something pre-recorded and just kind of hang on to it until it's finished before I even start uploading it. I also would like to shy away from constant Let's Plays, as I do enjoy writing scripts and coming up with more creative or unique discussions. Long plays may be done for good on this channel, as even though they are far more enjoyable to record since there's no pressure of commentary, there's also no point since you can find a long play of any game, and they're full of lots of copyright claims. So there's nothing in it for any of us. I may also delete all of my so-called enhanced game music videos and relaxing ambiance videos, as they overall are pretty bad and they're bringing down the whole channel in terms of YouTube's algorithm. But I'm still undecided on pretty much everything. Everything is a mystery right now. So all that's left to say is thank you all for a huge year compared to what I'm used to with this YouTube stuff, and I hope you've enjoyed the content and will check out some of the older stuff that you maybe missed. Yoshi's Woolly World and Jet Force Gemini especially are my favorites outside of the popular Zelda randomizers and the unstoppable perfection that is known as Super Metroid. Thank you once again, and here's to even better things in the future. Happy New Year everyone, and I hope to see you soon.